You know, friends, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not exactly sure what you are looking at, but I suppose you could call it art. Or you could also call it I was left alone with only a couple of the mechanic options unlocked for building in our beautiful arid desert zoo for far too long while I waited for the maintenance people to finish cutting the trees and trimming the hedges outside my window, which took many hours, which meant that I built a lot of things while I was waiting to tell you guys that it is International Camel Day. Uh huh. Yeah. We just had International Giraffe Day yesterday, and lo and behold, I looked up to find myself surprised by the singular hump of Camel Day. I guess that's really fitting. Oh my gosh, I just got it. Hump Day. Hump Day. Okay, I don't think Camel Day is supposed to be on Hump Day, but it is on Hump Day this week, which is so hilarious. Also, it sounds like, would you look at that? We just got the bronze statue! Woo! All right. I don't know about you, but I'm exhausted and stressed, having the success of this place resting entirely on my shoulders, and I suppose a tiny bit on yours as well, is a big responsibility. This zoo has to be super opulent. People are expecting the best of the best here, especially my friends. Even though I explained to them that having pandas serve caviar to them is not practical for a whole list of reasons. Well, I mean, we could always just take the people who have to wear the panda suits. You know, at the panda sanctuary in China, which actually my beloved husband Chips has been to, they will often raise the pandas with people who are wearing panda outfits if the pandas are meant to interact with other pandas in the future, or if they're meant to possibly be part of the release program, which historically hasn't done so well, but that's because it's also notoriously hard to track a panda once you release it. You wouldn't think so, but believe it or not, that coat really blends in to like the bamboo mountains they live in China really well. But alright, anyway, so I've got to go deal with all those expectations as well as concentrating on animal welfare too. It makes my head spin. Although, that could be the heat. But between us, we can do it. I've come up with our next list of priorities. Think you can help with them? And onwards we go, friends. So we have just unlocked, yes, the bronze statue. That is so ironic because, like I said, it is Camel Day, and I actually have a really fun idea in mind for what I want these statues of these camels to do. But first, I need to go ahead and show you guys why on earth we're talking about camels in the very first place. And that's because we have some! Hello, my friend! Latif, welcome, welcome. You got yourself stuck behind the baobab tree. It happens. Don't worry about it. There you go. Did you know today is International Camel Day, my friend? Did you? Also, your social group. I could have sworn I had two camels. And there's my giraffe. How you doing, Xena? Oh, I love her. Let's see. I could have sworn that I was going to have two camels in here. But, dromedary camel, there's one. And then, let's see, animal trading. And you may be wondering where these camels came from, but I promise you, friends, I obtained them. Oh, yeah, there we go. Hanan is on her way over. She's going to be dropped in just a second. I better go ahead and, like, move this tree and maybe some of these rocks. I think that's the problem. Maybe it's more the rocks than the tree. Oh, there we go. Alright, thank you very much, Gazelle Wrangler, Salty Sweet Wren. We're going to go ahead and give you some training, even though I need to remember that we're not in our Pixel Sanctuary, and I do not have infinite funds, and I should probably be a little more careful than that. Xena, I swear, this is like the happiest reticulated giraffe I have ever known in my entire life. Except for the whole social group thing, but I'm working on that, my dear. I'm working on that. Oh, cheetahs. Unfortunately, I would need a lot more in conservation credits than we currently have, but we'll work on that soon too. But yes, so we got camels, you guys! When I realized it was going to be International Camel Day, with the dromedary camels being one of the stars of the Arid Pack show, I had to go ahead and get a couple of them so that they could go and grace our new zoo. Bearing in mind that, of course, we're only working here with Tiffany long enough to be able to grab that golden statue, so we'll continue onwards with our golden goals in just a moment. But behold, the noble camel. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I have undervalued the camel. Possibly because they spit. And after one traumatic experience with a llama as a child that I talk about often, I kind of veered heavily away from anything that chews cud and spits it right in your face. Yeah, no, thank you. No, I feel like I have to like lay down and like scrub my face clean again just thinking about it. Also, that is so cool. She just sat down. Oh my gosh, this is so fun. So, that being said, I have undervalued the noble camel. Because you see, friends, it turns out that the camel is one of the most important species for the buildup of human civilization on the planet. It still is one of the most important domesticated species throughout much of the Middle East, parts of Asia, parts of Africa. As you guys know, camels are the iconic animal that helped a lot of people travel across vast distances where there wasn't a lot of water. And that's because, unlike horses, these guys didn't actually need to drink that much water. They can also extract nutrients out of anything that they eat. A lot more. Yeah, that's that kind of extracting nutrients, I suppose. Thanks, buddy. But they can extract a lot more nutrients out of what other species would not be able to even browse on than horses can. And they have much higher heat tolerance because of the fat that they keep in their hump that helps them to cool the entire circulation system in their body. Now, that's all like fine and good for the camel and its existence in the desert, but I really, 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 when I was doing research for today, underestimated how invaluable they were as a domesticated species that allowed people to go ahead and have transportation across vast distances, which knit together some of the like iconic historic trade systems. Also, maybe I should smooth this out a little bit because all of our little animals seem to have like, yeah, maybe I should smooth this out just a touch. Everybody's playing Mountain Goat. That's adorable. But they not only provided a place where people could go ahead and, or a transport system that was basically they're the fuel efficient version of a horse. They needed less water. They were able to eat a wider variety of food, and they were actually domesticated a very long time ago. The jury is still out in some people's opinions, like my husband Chips, on if they're really domestic or not, but they are considered domesticated, and they have been domesticated since about almost 5,000 years ago. That's a long freaking time. Also, I didn't know this, but it turns out that the noble camelids, do you know where they actually, like, here's two really cool facts that I was stunned by. They actually did not evolve in Europe, Africa, or Asia. Camelids are from North America, which blew my mind. I could not believe that. I was like, what do you mean they're from North America? Like, what? But yes, alongside creatures like the, well, probably not alongside the American cheetah, but kind of in that era when the land bridges were starting up is when camels were spreading all over the place. And camels are actually the ancestor of the llama and the guanaco and the alpaca, which explains why they have a very similar structure to them, and they all spit, because they are from the same ancestor. And camels in North America were basically hunted to extinction when humans started moving over, but a few of them managed to make it over the other side of the land bridge and ended up many, 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 many thousands of years later being domesticated by people who started using them not only for transport but also for their meat. Again, they like, I mean, you know me, I'm the vegan. I think that like eating the meats is one of the reasons the planet's dying, which is that and capitalism, but we'll carry on with that another day. But they do make an important source of meat, they make an important source of fur, and they provide milk. Camel milk is actually very popular in some countries, in places that can't really have other types of cattle. Now, the last cool fact before we go ahead and tend to everything else and name these two camels, well, it turns out, guys, and this really surprised me, and it won't surprise those of you who live down under. The largest population of wild camel on the planet is in Australia, from feral dromedary camels. What? But yeah, so the largest population of camel on the entire planet is actually in Australia. And that is because they were released there, they got feral, they went everywhere, and they actually are quite the plague deep in the Australian deserts because they're able to go ahead and survive in that heat. And there's a lot of other species who live in very fragile ecosystem balances who kind of need the camels to stop messing with like their water source and eating what scarce food is out there. So they are considered dangerous pests to a lot of the native species. Oh, but they're really cool to watch right now. They're like moving in their little camel caravan. I love it. But they are considered dangerous pests there who have very unpleasant ecological influences. Also, which one of who now? My sable antelope? For crying out loud, buddy. You just needed to scoot over a little bit, you goose. There. Oh my gosh. Okay, so that's the only animal I think that we have unhappy now. So hopefully our protesters will chill. But there are your camel facts for the day, kind of delivered all at once because I was just having a good time like watching the camel, to be completely honest. There we go. There we go. But I mean, I learned all of that very recently because again, I really undervalued like the camels. Again, probably personal bias because they spit and I avoid them, like even mentally as a result. But they do have a very big influence, even today, on the world. Dun, 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 dun. And, oh, last thing, just before I forget, because we're about to dive into looking at a bunch of other stuff. But I also mixed up the two types of camel. And I was trying to figure out, how do you tell the difference between the dromedary camel and the Bactrian camel? And here is a cool lesson that I learned. If you look, like tilt your head and look at the side of the camel right there. Ignore that. Like they're putting their very well masticated fruit, like food globs on the ground there. Puh. But if you look at the side of the camel, you can see its back is kind of shaped like the letter D. So this back, letter D, right? And if we go over to the Bactrian camel, if you tilt your head and look on the side, it's the letter B. And so, what a fun mnemonic that is, just to be able to remember, oh, if it has two humps, it's Bactrian because it looks like a B. And if it has one hump, it's a dromedary camel because it looks like a D. And that reminds me of stalactites hold tight to the ceiling of caves, and stalagmites might grow to be big one day. That I always have been telling you guys since the beginning of our Pixel adventures. Oh my gosh. Memories. But there you go. So lots and lots of camel facts. In fact, that was so good on all of those lovely camel facts. I want to put down a couple more of our education stations so people can appreciate my wisdom and insight. And then I think we should also go ahead and we should add in an educator pretty soon, because we have a lot of animals over here that people have not been introduced to yet. And also apparently I moved this one too far from power. Where's the edge? Ugh. Must I? Must I? I suppose I must. Sigh. Having to install more spots where our poor mechanics are just going to like, is this a door? Good gravy. I can't edit these due to like permits or whatever. But hopefully one of our brave mechanics will be able to make it. And gotcha. And hopefully that won't bother our guest. Is the back poking out a little bit? A little bit. We can fix that. We can fix that in post. And by post, I mean just put a rock on top of it. There we go. And now we can go ahead and have people learn about the sable antelope over here too. And whoops. And we'll add in another sign in just a second on the other side so that people can also get some information. And then we are going to carry on with making this truly a wonderful desert experience, which is, to be honest, my entire opinion on how you make this a wonderful desert experience is mostly going to circle around to making sure that people don't die of heat stroke. There we go. Tama gazelles. Oh, wonderful, wonderful. And just a couple more things. We're going to snag ourselves a nice donation cover because I made an amazingly awesome... Somebody broke! Oh, rude. Oh, so rude. I make you guys, like, I give you guys a cooler, and what do? Our sable antelopes are gonna have babies! Yay! Give these people a cooler, and they just go and they destroy everything. That's so rude. We're gonna change the image to, how about just giraffes or Mila, sand cats. A lot of these are sneak peek. Oh no, that's the one that has the music in it. I thought I got rid of you! I thought I did my due diligence and I thought I got rid of you! Oh, evil. No, I spent like forever pulling the music rocks out of these things because I did not want to deal with that. I always regret putting music down because it's just so loud. Alright, let's see. And now, here we go. And then we can come in. That's better. That's better. Silence! And then, oops, okay. Can I get in here too? Okay, snag. Oh, that tree sapling is always in my way. Gosh darn it! Look, people, I have things to do. I've got a lot of important things to do. Not a lot of time. I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna advertise for the sand kitten. No, we're gonna advertise for a nice fruit drink from over here. Would you like to not die of heat stroke? Well, do I have good news for you, friends? Also, maybe we should actually have like somebody to help us deal with the crime. I might need to work on that in just a little bit here. Let me go ahead and move this tree back into its pot. Oh my gosh, did I seriously move the heater too? The cooler? No! For crying out loud. Oh, alright. And there we go. Alright, there we go. So now we have the donation cover down, but not the donations. We're gonna like run this thing into the ground if I'm not more careful, because I'm used to being a multi-millionaire in our other zoos. No wonder we're having some issues here. Oh my gosh. Alright. Well, and let's move this on over. Almost. There we go. Yay! And now people can toss their money into the date tree. See? See? I love that! Alright, well, with a few more donations, we'll be able to turn around and provide the people with the shade and the sustenance that they are seeking. And I will show you guys the really awesome, I'm actually super duper proud of it, but the really awesome fruit stand that I built whilst waiting for the extremely loud people who were very busy. Very, very busy being very loud. And I put the donation bin over here. Ah, there it is. And cutting all of the branches outside of my house in just a moment here. And then we'll go ahead and I'll have to change the advertising targets later. But, oh, I love these date trees. I have surprisingly actually worked very hard on the builds that we have for our wonderful sandy adventures here. And that really tickles me because I don't normally spend so long really trying to actually make things look nice versus just throwing them under a rock, as you guys know. That's usually my MO. Is to just like hide the evidence of chaos under rocks and plants. But we actually have some fairly nice builds here, if I do say so myself. The donation cover with the dates, the date tree, which is one of the trees that you can actually find in the Sahara Desert to my shock and surprise. And we talked last time about how elephants actually evolved alongside lockstep with the date tree, so that the date trees actually need to be at the temperature of an elephant's intestines, their insides, to germinate, which I thought was so cool. Look how pretty that is! Whoops, okay, in a bush. But look how pretty that is. I'm really, really, really proud of that. But alright, so Camel Day. And our new goals to be able to get... Oh, disease is now life-threatening. Excuse me? Critical infection? Pardon? Hello? What's happening? Okay. Huh. You know, maybe we should go ahead. I think we're gonna raise prices just a touch. And we can convince people to pay more by also having them go ahead, and we're going to upgrade our keepers. I think we might have Mirage Spotter. I need to make a new... Okay, look, there's a lot of stuff that needs to go down, but... Oh, and vet research is done. Excellent. A lot more done on the Dama Gazelle. Hopefully, camel dentist Tanya will be able to take a break from her research to save the life. Yes, she's on it. She's on it. She's gonna save the life of our poor little Dama Gazelle. Like, Mina, what are you doing? What is going on? She has a contagious virus. Save her. Save her. Also, don't get spat on by that camel. Save her, Tanya. Our poor Dama Gazelles. We haven't even had any time to be able to go ahead and visit with them either, because they have been depressed, they have been dramatic, they have been having issues. I don't even know like where these endangered antelope are native to yet. We haven't even had time to go ahead and look at that. What the heck? Oh my gosh. All right. Whew. And then I suppose, oh, she has cowpox. Oh no. See, now that is actually another one of the problems that a lot of these endangered species run into, especially the sand cats as well, is that they can get exposed to diseases that domesticated animals and domesticated livestock have. For instance, the sand cat does get feline leukemia, which, as you guys know, is very deadly for cats. It kills off a lot of domesticated cats. It can be the plague of cat shelters, and it's one of the reasons that trap, spay, and neuter release programs don't work. You still spread that illness all over the place, and it's bad news for everybody. So like that's something that sand cats can get. They're closely enough related to the other cat species. They can pick up the domestic cat species when those cats are allowed to go outdoors. They do not interbreed and have genetic pollution, to my knowledge, the way that the African wildcat and the Scottish wildcat struggle from, though. But that's all about cats, isn't it, my dear? And you're not a deer, you're a gazelle. And I do want to spend overpriced my foot. Fine, fine. Take that. Take that. Oh my gosh. There, all right, we're doing some more research, thank freaking goodness. But all right, so Mina is now feeling better, our poor Dama Gazelle, beautiful that she is, and I'm hoping that, oh, come on. And then she just goes and like snuggles into the leaves. That is precious. That is absolutely precious. But we need to take good care of her, and we need to take good care of her mini companions here in these sand dunes, because they need some enrichment, they need some entertainment, and I also need to, before I forget, because today is International Camel Day, we are going to do one more thing, and it's going to be with the camel statues, before I forget to do this, and we move on to tending to all of the many other tasks that we have to do in this sandy zoo. And actually, I'm probably going to start doing something like this, like a little collection of the different... Scooch this way. Is someone giving like a talk? Oh, I could put educational speakers down to fill in until we're able to go ahead and have like educators. I think I need to get a little bit more money more reliably first. All right, so what I really want to do with this camel statue, just as a final thing to give you guys a hint, before we go, not the bubbles, the jet. Oh yes, that's the camel that I know. Spitting camels. That's the camel that I know. And like I said, don't exactly love, but have an awareness of. And I never would have thought of this if I didn't live in that constant sense of trauma. Let's see, there's the jet. I think that there's a, oh, what's this? Wetlands, animal sign, water buffalo, waterfall, murky waterfall. All right, I think that's perfect. I I think that that is actually perfect, and I cannot wait to show my husband Chips, because that's hilarious. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I just have to do a little bit of work to make this fit in properly. And we've got ourselves a spitting camel fountain. Oh my gosh. I love this. And we can put in like another cooler over here so people feel like they could get like a cool release. We could even hide, oh you guys, I should scoot it over a little bit and we could hide like a water vending machine in it. Oh, that's hilarious. But alright, thank you guys so much for joining me on International Camel Day today. I hope you guys learned a little bit more about the dromedary camel. I think there's still a lot more for us to cover. And, I mean, we haven't even touched on the Dama Gazelle just yet. And, oh man, I haven't even told you guys about, like, their slobber contest when they try to find a mate. Which I probably am not telling you about because I don't want to think about. Okay, we're gonna go now. We're gonna go now, and when we come back, fruit drinks and more fun as we work our way up to discovering the other animals of the Arid pack and questioning what other interesting art it appears I'm going to be creating. So, I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye!